and thank you for coming back. Today, I want to talk about kind of a big thing, vaccinations for your kids. It's something I'm pretty passionate about, and I am very, very much pro vaccinations. So let's talk about why. Vaccinations are a wonderful thing. They help prevent diseases that are horrible, and quite often deadly. You have polio, mumps, measles, rubella, all kinds of diseases, diphtheria, all kinds of diseases that are completely, well, not completely preventable, but preventable. They're preventable in like 99% of cases. And the way you prevent them is vaccines when your child is a baby / toddler, whenever it's time for them to get their vaccines. Now, there are some children that are immunocompromised and cannot get vaccinated. Their immune system cannot handle the vaccinations. These kids are at an increased risk of catching these diseases. You know, not getting vaccinated means you're more likely to catch these diseases. But when all the children that can be vaccinated are, there's what's called herd immunity. So everyone else gets vaccinated, they're not likely to catch these diseases. And that protects the non-vaccinated children from catching these diseases. You won't, if you don't have someone bringing a cold into your house, then you're not likely to catch a cold, or you're less likely to catch a cold. So it's the same with preventable diseases. If you don't have someone bringing that disease to your child, then you're less likely for your child to get that disease. And the way we stop the diseases from being spread like that is through vaccinations. So yeah, the big major, sorry, I have a notebook with notes in it for this. One of the big reasons that vaccinations are seen as bad and negative is that people think vaccinations cause autism. I have a few different points on this. One, why are you so scared of having an autistic child that you would risk your child suffering and quite possibly dying from these diseases? Why? I would rather have an autistic child that lives an entire life than a dead baby or toddler. I don't want a funeral because my child contracted polio because I didn't get them vaccinated. That's not okay by me. And it's Andrew Wakefield. Andrew Wakefield is the person that, at the time was a doctor, that published the study that linked the MMR vaccine to autism. It has since been disproven, and he himself has come out and said that he changed the data and that he falsified information for that study. He made it up. It's not real. Now, you may go online and read some blogs and some creditable websites and hear about all kinds of, my child was vaccinated and now has autism. Well, guess what? Your child doesn't have autism and polio. Your child is autistic. It's a genetic disease. Genetic thing. Not caused by vaccinations. Yeah, it's genetic. Yeah, it's genetic disability. And just, I don't understand why autism is seen as worse than death. Because honestly, that's the choice you're making. You're saying, in the 0.01 chance, 1% chance that my child gets autism, I would rather take that chance. I would rather not take that chance than deal with the reality of my child quite possibly becoming sick with a preventable illness that could cripple them, could make them blind, could make them deaf, could kill them. These diseases are deadly. Polio and measles, mumps, rubella, and tetanus, and diphtheria, and meningitis. They're preventable and deadly. So let's prevent them. Let's also take a look. There have also been thousands of studies on vaccines, not just individual vaccines, but also them in combination, because your child gets multiple vaccines. So they've studied them together and them in combination and how they affect and if they're safe and all these things. Let's look at some facts here. There were, let's start down here. In the US alone, this is just in America. In America, in 1923, there were 1,560 people that got tetanus. In 2010, thanks to vaccines, only 26 people got tetanus. That's a huge difference. In 1941, 894,134 people had measles. In 2010, thanks to vaccines, only 63 people had the measles. This continues on with all of them with staggering numbers. I also want to point out that because of vaccines, smallpox, diphtheria, and polio were eradicated. In 2012, there were 0 cases of any of those 3. And then, okay, some of you may be saying, well, that was back then, things have changed. Since then, we've got better, systems for keeping clean and stuff like that. Yes, that is true. Here's one, though, that I think is really interesting. It was 1992. So that would be 27 years ago. Not that long. That there were 20,000 people with HIV meningitis. Thanks to vaccines, in 2010, in 2010, only 2 people had HIV meningitis. That's a huge difference. And 1992 was not that long ago. Like, our septic systems and waste removal systems and overall cleanliness has not drastically increased or changed since 1992. So you can't say that these statistics only changed because of how we function as a society in that way, in keeping clean and things like that, understanding of germs. It is because of vaccines that all of these numbers that were really high are going way down low. But recently, there has been an uptick in people not vaccinating their kids, which means that some of these preventable diseases are coming back. In America alone, there were 1,000 children since 2007 that have died from preventable illnesses. And there were 100,000 children in America since 2007 that got sick from preventable illnesses. It's terrible that people are not vaccinating their kids because the other point is Big Pharma. That's the other main reason that people don't want to give their kids vaccines. They don't want to support Big Pharma. This has nothing to do My response has nothing to do with whether Big Pharma is good or bad or not. Here's the thing. Do you think a doctor is going to receive more money from giving you a shot, giving your child a shot, and then them not coming back? Or from your child getting really sick and needing to be hospitalized and given all sorts of medications and treatments and therapy and all these things to deal with these preventable diseases? Which one do you think is going to give them more money? Because my guess is that your child being hospitalized from a preventable disease is going to give them more money than giving them a shot. That's just basic common sense. I think it's common sense. So yeah, that's my stance on vaccinations. They're extremely useful and necessary, and you would be doing your child a disservice, I think, if you were to not vaccinate them. So, alright, I hope you enjoyed listening to my ramblings about this. Whether you agree or disagree, feel free to let me know in the comments if you want to talk about it. Maybe you're extremely anti-vaccinations and you have points that I didn't make. Or maybe you're extremely pro and you want to bring out some points that I didn't make. You know, that happens. I didn't cover everything here today. There's still a lot of research and things in the world that are pro-vax that I didn't cover. So maybe you want to talk about it. Maybe y'all want to get into an argument about it down there. But, yeah, let me know. And, yeah, I think that's all for now. Thank you for watching.